Hey, 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 and welcome back to the Fully Booked Photographer podcast. And it's Janine and I again. And I'm looking out to my right, and all I can see is the Mediterranean. That's all I can see, Janine, is I can't even see sand. I can just see sea and palm trees and boats in the water and the sun. And it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. And here I am in my cap.
Sounds like the perfect view to me.
It is. It's a beautiful view. It's a beautiful view. And despite all the temperature, and I'm sure it's quite warm in Florida and Tampa too, we're talking about Christmas and the holiday season. And we're talking about how there's an opportunity for every photographer to make money in the holiday season, regardless of what you do. Even if it's painted portraits, there's always a way to do that. And last week, Janine, just to recap, we talked a little bit about how it is an opportunity for every photographer. Do you just want to give us a 60-second overview of what we touched on last week?
Yeah, so last week in episode 1 of our 2-part series, we chatted about the different ways to identify your ideal client and how your ideal client would tie in to Christmas for you as a studio owner. And so for some photographers, it seems kind of easy, right? Like I'm a children and family photographer, so the holiday season comes obvious. But if I'm not, a lot of people think, oh, I can't make money from this season because it doesn't fit my brand, it doesn't fit my studio, it doesn't fit my genre. And last week, I think we debunked that. I think we walked through pretty much most genres of photography and how you can make money in this season. And you'd be foolish not to. When the calendar hands you such a gift as Christmas, with people ready to spend money on holiday decorations, gifts for family, why would you not try and make money from this? And so that's what we talked about last week. How to find what works for you, not what works for someone else, what works for you, what works for your ideal client, and figuring out how to make a plan in your studio to make money in the fourth quarter from the holidays.
All right. So I finalized my strategy, right? So now I have to find a way to let the world know about what I'm going to do. So I think most people call that marketing, Janine. So Talk to me about how we might approach marketing the holiday season.
Yeah. So what we really wanted to talk about today was if you've identified your ideal client, you've identified what type of holiday sessions you're going to be doing and how you want to make money from this season. Now you got to market it, right? It's good to have the idea, but if you just have the idea floating around in your studio and you don't put it out to the world, well, then it's for naught, right? And then we hear people, I created these sessions and nobody booked them. And then you ask them how they marketed it and they're like, well, I posted it up on my website or I made a post on social media and nobody booked it, right? Well, that's not a plan. And that's not a way to get people to book. There's nothing methodical about that. It's almost like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping some of it sticks. So what we're going to talk about today is actually creating your plan for marketing the holidays. And I know it's October when people are going to be listening to this, so it might seem a bit too late, but you can still get it done. But what I want people to do is really take the lessons from this and start applying it for next year when they're working on their next year plan as well, so they can really get ahead of the game and really start thinking about how they can market Christmas. And if they have been loyal podcast listeners, they heard our Christmas in July podcasts a month or so ago. And that's the ideal place to start. The ideal place to start is marketing early. So that way you have your sessions already figured out. You know what you're going to be doing and you market them to your existing clients early on. And this way you can fill your calendar, hopefully, with your existing clients. Because I know, my why might be going through life with my clients, but I know a lot of photographers in some shape or form, capturing memories, creating magical moments for their clients. Like a lot of photographers somehow have worked in there that they want to capture memories and special moments for their clients. So being able to make sure that you get all of your existing clients in or back again for a holiday portrait session would be priority over necessarily maybe getting a new client in. So you want to try and first make your existing clients feel special, that you care about them, that you want to get them back into your studio to capture this most important time of the year. And then you also, it's just easier marketing, Ronan, to market to your existing clients than it is to find new ones. It's a lot less expensive. You already have their information. You don't have to go out and find it. hopefully, if you're organized and have a database where you store this information. So first and foremost, you market to your existing clients. And if it's October and you're listening to this and you haven't thought about this yet, that's okay, right? You didn't have to do a Christmas in July to market to your existing clients. You can figure out what your holiday promotion is going to be, and you can write an email right now. And you can get this email written, you can get it sent to your existing clients and start promoting your holiday sessions. But it's not just that easy. I know everybody loves writing emails because it's very, I don't know how to say passive and hands off, but it is passive and hands off, right? You write the email, maybe with a little help of AI now to make it extra snazzy, and then you send it out into the world and you're like, oh, hopefully people will click on the button I put in my email and I'll book up all my sessions. But guess what? That doesn't happen either, right? You might get 1 or 2 people that reply to your email. And if you're not been diligent about your email nurturing all year long, if you haven't been sending nurturing emails throughout the year, such as, client stories or things to do around town, or here's some tips and tricks to things to do with your kids and back to school, like whatever it is that you choose to do for your email nurturing, if you haven't been doing that all year, then you could probably expect a little bit lower return when you send out an email out of the blue to your client list, asking them to buy something from you. And so that's a little bit of the left hook, right jab, the Gary Vaynerchuk thing, or is it right hook, left jab? I don't know. I'm bad with the boxing analogies, but you get the idea, right? You want to, you gotta give them something before you go at them for a sales ask. But you still, if you haven't been nurturing, don't use that as an excuse not to do this. Send out the email, right? So you're going to send out an email to your client database, but then you got to do some work, Ronan. And I only have my cell phone sitting here, but you got to pick up the phone. And so you need to sit down and identify your ideal clients, who you want back in your studio for a holiday session. You make a list and you make the phone calls and you call them, and it's very, hey, Ronan, this is Janine at Cloud9 Studios. Can you believe that the holiday season is upon us? Next month, we are going to be photographing our holiday portrait sessions, and we need to get you back in the studio. Something very simple and very excited. And, the holiday season is exciting. Your existing clients will love to hear from you, and they'll love to know that you thought of them. Before we fully book, Ronan, I want to make sure that if you want a session at the studio for the holidays, we get you in because you're a very important client to us. And we want to make sure your memories are captured. Clients love knowing that you're taking care of them. They won't see it as a sales call. They're not going to feel like you're bothering them. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, Ronan cared enough about me as his existing client. I'm very important to him. Oh my goodness. Wow. Even if they don't book with you, you've made contact with your existing clients, and it makes them feel special and know that you care about them. Because how many times, and I know everybody's had this experience the opposite way, where you're a long-term client of a business and they never touch base with you. And you're like, what the heck, man? I'm spending money here all the time and they never reach out to me. And you hear randomly about some kind of promotion they have going on through a social media channel. Like, wait, what? I'm not important enough for them to let me know that they have this special going on? So don't ever fall into that trap and by taking the easy way out with just sending emails. You need to pick up the phone and call. And so those two things, emailing and calling your existing clients, depending on the volume you're wanting to do from the holidays, can pretty much almost book your calendar. And it's interesting because I have a lot of our members in the Playbook Photographer ask me about my Facebook ads for the holidays. I really don't run that many because I fully book most of my holiday sessions with my existing clients, which is what I want. I want my existing clients back in for the holidays. It's another chance to, they already get us. They already understand the studio. They already know me, and it gives me a chance to see them again, love on them again for the holidays, and take care of their gift giving needs for their families. We only do our Facebook advertising, which we'll talk about in a minute, to fill in the gaps, right? Get all your existing clients in first.
And the beauty about it, because it's the holiday season, is you've scarcity, right? Because you can only do a certain amount.
You can only do a certain amount.
And it's time bound.
Yeah.
So, it's marketing nirvana is when you can build scarcity and natural time boundness in, right? It's just, you can't ask for more. They can't put it off. They either do it or they don't do it. They can't say, oh, we'll get to it sometime.
Right. You're right. And it's funny because you can actually remind them of the scarcity. Like, we do it very often. Like, it still might seem like we're recording this podcast. It's October 5th. It still might seem like Christmas is far away. But as most photographers know, pretty much you're photographing weekends, right? So in the United States, Thanksgiving is a big cutoff to get ready for Christmas. So most photographers here like to have all of their holiday sessions done before Thanksgiving. So it's easy enough to make a post on social media and remind people, there's 6 Saturdays between now and when you need to have your portraits done by Christmas. 6 Saturdays. That is huge scarcity because they might be thinking, I have 60 days. You don't have 60 days. You have 6. Which one of those 6 would you like? And so there are a lot of ways to even imply that scarcity even more and put the fear of God into people that if they don't call and book, they're not going to make it in time for the holidays. And so, yeah, it is. You're right. It's a marketing nirvana. The calendar works in your favor. People, and especially if your clients have young children, they're on this countdown already. Their schools are getting them ready for Halloween and fall and Thanksgiving. And so they're already in this mindset of, I got to get stuff done in time for Christmas. And the rest of the world is already marketing them too. You go into a Hobby Lobby, you go into a Michael's, you go into any of these craft stores, it's all Christmas right now, all of it. And it's been that way for about a month. So people are getting ready for the holidays. It's never too early to start marketing. And so, yeah, it's time bound, scarcity, and people got to get their gifts and their photos done. So it's perfect.
And I know in part 1, Janine, like you talked about, like, even painted portraits can do this, right? Because they can have a Christmas theme. They're already spending a lot of money, and they probably, the photographers who do painted portraits probably already know their clients because they probably managed to display the painted portraits for their clients. They probably know their clients well enough as to, those that hire designers and go for a Christmas theme every year and get somebody to do their Christmas tree and their decorations on a particular theme. So they can easily make a list, and it'll be a short list. It won't be near as long as Santa's list, right? So to make the list and check it twice isn't going to take a long time. And then they can phone those, and let's say they identify that like they really can only do 5 of these sessions if they have to paint a portrait ready in time for the holiday season. Because people probably put up their Christmas tree, the first... Well, you guys in America are different. We put up our Christmas tree sort of the first weekend of December. When do you guys do it? Do you still do a Christmas Eve, or is that just a movie?
Oh, God, no. My Christmas tree goes up the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So it goes up early too. You know the way those movies, and they're going for the Christmas tree?
Oh, I know. They're decorating it on Christmas Eve. I'm like, what? So it stays up for a day? Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we do it early.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
So in that case, then, they may only have 3 or 4 or 5 available sessions. So imagine being able to pick from your client list, who you want to phone, and then present that to them. You may not have thought about this before, but we thought about you this year as one of our VIP clients. We've only 3 of these available each year, and we thought about you. We know that you love to decorate your home for Christmas with a theme. What a special way to decorate would be a family portrait of you, and name the family and all the members of it, that you know them because they're friends, right, at this stage. And how amazing would it be for you to have a painted Christmas portrait that you can put up for the holiday season? How would you feel, Janine, as a client, if somebody did that for you?
I'd feel amazing. Because wow, they thought I know they have a lot of clients, and they thought of me to call me and ask because my kids are the right age for this magical time, and they remembered that. They remembered my daughter's 5, and she's at the height of her Christmas, magical wonder of Santa Claus, and or whatever the case may be. They remembered I had a new addition to the family. They remembered that my child is leaving for college next year. They remembered whatever it is that you've remembered about that client to give you the reason to call. It's going to make them feel special. And again, Ronan, the magic about this is even if they don't book the session, you've touched them. Okay, that sounds weird. You know what I'm saying? You've touched their heart.
You have touched their. Yeah. You've touched their heart. You've touched their heart and their soul.
You've touched their hearts, and you've reached out, and they know that you're thinking about them, and that'll only pay dividends forward for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's move on from our existing clients, because I know there's some people listening to this podcast and like, but Janine and Ronan, I don't have any existing clients. I don't have enough clients to be able to fill pictures, sessions and pictures and everything like that for Christmas. What do I do? Am I out? I never can get started because I never have a client list, and so It doesn't matter. We all have to start somewhere, even if you don't have a big client base. Even if you only have 10 people on your email base, please email them. Right? Please market to your existing clients, no matter how small that database is. Don't use that as an excuse. Pick them up, phone them, start emailing them, call them. Yeah, if you have a shorter database, even better. It's less people. You definitely have no excuse not to pick up the phone. So you got to hustle. You got to hustle for your business. This isn't, a passive sport. So, all right. So if you have already either maximized out the number of clients that you have to come back in for the studio and you still need to fill more sessions, or you don't have enough existing clients to fill those sessions, this is where social media comes in very handy. Two ways. One, holiday portraits is something people Google. So if you can get your website updated and your landing pages updated for the holidays and optimize them with your SEO, this is something people will search for. Holiday portraits, Wesley Chapel. Holiday portraits, Dublin, Ireland. Christmas portrait, people are searching for this because they want to get it done. So make sure you have check that off your list. It's easy to do. Get it done. Make sure you optimize. I know that we have information out there where Zena did a fantastic webinar that's out that you can listen to on optimizing your SEO. But for the Christmas, just get your Christmas pages done and ready to go. So that way, if people are searching, they find you. But then you need a plan.
And Janine,
yeah.
And Janine, just on the Google side of things, Google AdWords, ideal for this time of year. Don't just rely on your SEO. That's great. And absolutely do that. But just Google AdWords, find in the Google AdWords keyword searcher, what are people searching for holiday portraits or Christmas portraits, and just pay Google for those leads. But make sure you bring them to a landing page.
Yes, right? They've got to go to a landing page.
That just talks about that. Don't be bringing them to their homepage and have to find where it is. Just bring them to a landing page.
Yeah, and capture them right away with the spirit of the season, right at the top. What is the why? What is the emotional connection to the holidays? What are we trying to do? If it's pets, if it's children, if it's family, if it's boudoir, what is it? And right at the top, capture their imagination and their attention right away. Really speak to their heart. Okay, so Google, SEO, AdWords. I'm glad you added that in. And then we have our social media plan for Facebook and Instagram. Whatever social media channels you're using, those are the two I use because that's where my clients exist. If your clients exist on TikTok, on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, then you need to make a plan for that. So you need to figure out where your clients are hanging out, where you are active, and make a plan for those channels. And you need to engage daily for the next 6 weeks on what you have coming up. And you can do it in fun ways, right? It doesn't always have to be, again, posting out, book a session with me, please. That sounds a little desperate after a while, So you need to do little teasers and little snippets and little videos and little vignettes and some images of sample images that you can create for the holidays. But you kind of need to mix it up a little bit. You need to obviously still post in what you're doing regularly, like your evergreen portraits. So we are always posting about our first birthday still, even though we're working towards the holidays. So you need to sprinkle it in like a little Christmas magic into your social post so that when people are checking you out online and on social media, they see what you have coming down, and your loyal followers will also see what you have coming. So you need to strategize that and make a posting plan. And this is a great way to have AI help you because you can go in and I just recently did this. I'm like, all right, I have 6 weeks until my first holiday session. Can you write me a plan of social media posts for Facebook and Instagram that I can have go out 3 times a week for the next 6 weeks? And it'll help you. I don't use it exactly, but it gives me a frame of mind and it gives me a place to start. And then guess what? We use the engine. I go in and I schedule them all out. So I write my posts, I schedule them all out, done. I don't have to think about it anymore. That marketing is done and working for me in the background organically through Facebook and Instagram. Don't have to think about it. It's brilliant. Now I have to think about other things like my advertising. So if you have to fill more sessions, this is a great way to do paid ads on Facebook. Just like you said with Google Google AdWords, people are searching on Google. People are on Facebook looking for these things. If you don't think they are, then go check out any Facebook community group right now. And I guarantee you there's 5 moms asking where they can have holiday portraits done this holiday season. I guarantee it because I saw 3 this morning. I saw 2 yesterday. And I actually have in my notes section of my phone saved a whole post that I can comment with what we are offering at the studio and a link to our Christmas landing page that I can just easily copy and paste on all of those posts that people are putting in the community pages. So people are searching for this, and you need to get it out on social media. So it's a great way to do a Facebook ad. And if you are a member of the Fully Booked Photographer and you've been listening to this podcast for a while, then you should be very aware of how we do our Facebook ads. But this is a great chance. You want to remember, in the last podcast episode, we talked about who is your ideal client for Christmas. It's going to be different for everyone. And that's great, because while there's 50 moms every day asking for who's doing Christmas portraits, they're not all your client. So speak directly to your client. Who is it that you want in your studio? How old are their kids? Where are they at their stage in life? Is it a boudoir? Are there no kids? Or is their pet their child? Right? Are you celebrating with, Buster under the Christmas tree this year? Whatever your ideal client is, that's who you need to write your ad copy to. Forget about the rest of the world. Don't worry about what the rest of the world is advertising. Speak directly to your client, so that way they see you on social media and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the studio for me. Forget all these other people I've been seeing popping up in my feed. I want them. They know who I am. And so you need to have a scroll stopping image. You need to have a fantastic headline, and you need to write ad copy that speaks to your client with an offer. You need to have an offer. You can't just say, I'm doing Christmas portraits. Please book here. You need to have an offer. Now, the great thing, like you said earlier, Ronan, is we are time bound. So the scarcity is already there for the holiday season. You don't have to build that in falsely into an ad. It's already there. There's already a limited time. There's already limited availability because it's Christmas. We only have 6 Saturdays left until Thanksgiving. So you have that scarcity built in. Limited time. Get these done before the holidays. Yada, yada, yada. Right? So write your ad copy, speak to your ideal client, put in the offer, the implied scarcity of the holiday season, stunning image that stops the scroll, or you could do a red box, if you want to toy with something, but you need to have something that stops the scroll. Get your ideal clients in, call them. Please call your leads that come in. Don't just have a text or an email that goes out and then expect them to book. You need to call them, and you need to call them repeatedly because people are very busy this time of year. Don't take offense if they don't answer your first phone call because they're busy. Everybody's busy. So you're going to have a plan to call them multiple times to get them booked in.
All right. So, Janine, we've done the strategy piece. We've worked out our marketing plan. We've worked out how many sessions we can do. We know that there's limited time between now and the holiday season. Like, we have to have this done by Thanksgiving, which our clients mightn't even realize, for them to get their products. It has to happen before then if they're going to have it in time for the holiday season. So how do you suggest you approach pricing or products that you're going to offer and all that piece, because we always see this balance, isn't it, between quantity versus investment level from a client, and one multiplied by the other gives us the overall number that makes us the money. So how do I approach that side of things?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Ronan. And so again, this goes back to episode 1 of this podcast, of this 2-part series. You got to know your ideal client, and you need to really look at a product offering that's going to fit your, and I know Brad hates this word, but he's not here, so I can say it. Product line that's going to fit your studio brand. So, what works with who you are. All right, if you're a high-end painted portrait photography studio, you might not want to offer little acrylic things. It might be too kitschy for you. But, beautiful linen printed holiday cards of the same image that you've painted for them to mail out to their friends and family, that might be a nice offering. So you got to figure out what goes with your ideal client and what makes sense. For us, one of our biggest selling products is a Christmas ornament. And I have clients who have been buying our Christmas ornaments for 15 years, and they always send me pictures. And it's fun as a mom with children. I love unpacking my Christmas ornament box too, because I'm decorating my Christmas tree with photos of my kids from Christmas over the past 16 years. And it's I almost cry every single time. And by the way, as I'm doing that, I post it on social media too. So I can remind my clients that they're also going to cry when they unbox their Christmas ornaments. And then for those who haven't bought Christmas ornaments, they're realizing, the crying that they're missing out on and the emotional memories they're missing out on by not having their photo Christmas ornaments. So anyways, it's, a little bit of all that too. But I know it's special to unpack that box. So for us, holiday ornaments are a huge thing. But obviously, some of the product, and this is where it's tricky at Christmas morning, a lot of holiday products don't have a lot of margin in them. Christmas ornaments do not have a lot of margin in them. Christmas cards do not have a lot of margin in them. Some of our we'll do holiday mugs because grandparents love holiday mugs. Again, not a lot of margin in them. So you can't just sell those and make money at Christmas. They have to be add-ons to your existing product list. And so for the way that we have found that work, thanks to the great Gary Box, is we do a creative package. And that's how we have found we can take our existing price list and then add in the holiday items that we offer by clients creating a package. Step 1, you buy your portraits. Step 2, you buy your wall art or any of our collage art offerings. Step 3, now you can buy Christmas cards, mugs, and ornaments. But you can't buy those unless you buy step 1 and 2. Right? And so that allows us to ensure our profitable sale and then add on the gift items at the end. And it works really well that way for us because that's what we need. Now, you might not want to offer gifty items, in which case then the advice that I want to give everybody when you're making your price list for Christmas and you're making especially if you're going to be doing a higher volume in the holidays than you are the rest of the year, you have to make it easy to sell. I mean, we can't be having 2-hour-long sales appointments when we're having twice as many sessions, unless you're hiring additional sales staff for the holidays, right? Remember, again, we have 6 weeks to get this all done. 4 weeks if we're working just in November. So you have to have your sales appointments move faster, which means you have to make it easier for people to buy. And you have to suggest the products along the way. Like, this is what you're buying. Ronan, you've come in for this session, now let me tell you what you're going to buy. And this is the average we need to hit in order to make our money for the year, which means you have to do some upfront homework. What do you want your target to be? What do you want your average sale to be for your holiday portrait sessions? And then work your price list to that. And so, no matter where you fall in the price range of things, this is what you need to do. But whatever you're doing, you don't want to obviously offer such a, how am I trying to say this? You don't want to change your complete pricing structure. So that way, when your clients come back in the spring for a regular session, they're like, wait, I want that Christmas pricing. Why was it so cheap at Christmas? So it has to make sense. And that's why sometimes if you do a creative package and you offer a discount or additional products when they're added on to your existing pricing, that can make sense. You can do a little bit lower if you want for your prints and your portraits and things like that. And what we use is we use the reason of that we're doing, 15 sessions in a day as opposed to 2. So we offer at Christmas, we have our special Christmas pricing available for all of our clients to make it easier for you to purchase a lot of portraits to give out for the holiday season. And that's how we word it and phrase it to our clients. Our clients know very well this price list doesn't exist for anything else. It only exists at Christmas. So you can do it, but you gotta get your profit built in. And you can only get that built in really with your prints. You're not going to get it built in with Christmas cards, ornaments, and mugs. But you want to sell those because they make great gifts and they can be great add-on sales. The other thing that I always tell my entire team at the holiday season, and this is like the whole McDonald's theory, like, would you like fries with that? When you're working in volume and you're working with more clients than usual, every add-on sale becomes huge, even if it's just an extra $50. If you're doing 50 sessions in a month or 50 sessions, whatever you're doing, you add on extra $50 every single time. That adds up to a lot of extra money, especially if you're adding on $50 as straight profit. My goodness, you really got to think like that. An extra 50, an extra 100. Is there one more gift that you need? What are you getting grandma this year? What are you getting grandpa this year? And making something that you can do is making a suggested gift guide. And we do this and we give it out to our clients. They get it emailed about a week before their session. And it's taken right again from the retail world. Gifts under $250, gifts under $150, gifts under $100, whatever you want to put your things, because as I'm sure Ronan, there are certain family members that get ranked on how much you're willing to spend on them at Christmas. Grandparents get top billing. Grandparents usually people will spend a lot of money to send presents to the grandparents. Maybe godparents also are pretty high up there for certain people. Aunts and uncles, maybe second tier, and so it's like you have to have those tiers. And then teacher gifts, sometimes people like to do teacher gifts from their kids' photos. I've had people do that before. So you need to have something at all those levels to suggestively sell, because they might not have thought about it, Don't get grandpa another tie this year. Get him a portrait of his grandson, So these are all little tactics that we can take from the retail world and and work them into our studio to make additional money at Christmas. You're already doing the work. Might as well make more money. Already doing the work. So you're already shooting. Figure out how to sell more from what you're shooting. And this goes to all of our members running and listeners who might not shoot Christmas sessions. They've already said, no, not doing it. I'm not putting a red ribbon on any of my clients. We're not photographing Christmas this year. Okay, fine. If you don't want to make more money, whatever. But you can still sell them more products. So if you're absolutely refusing to do Christmas portraits in November, then you can still create a holiday gift giving guide and mail it out to anybody who's come in for a session this year and say, hey, have you thought about what you're going to get Grandma and Grandpa this year? Have you thought about what you're going to get so-and-so this year? And have a gift giving guide. And it can be at any level. Because if your clients are buying $10,000 painted portraits, maybe they'll buy a $1,000 replica for grandma in a smaller size. Who knows? Unless you ask, the answer is always no. So might as well ask and suggest, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get some extra sales in November by suggesting the right products to the right clients.
Because for me, Janine, that's always the question. Like, what am I going to buy the grandparents for Christmas? Or what am I going to buy whoever for Christmas? And, so somebody who makes that easy for me, they've got my business if I think that, it's going to be the right present.
Yeah.
It's done and dusted. Just make my life easy.
Please make my life easier. I've already had this portrait session. Yeah. Fantastic. I don't have to even do anything. I can just call you and place an order. Even better. Oh, wait, you're going to gift wrap it for me too? Ha ha! Huzzah! My Christmas is done. Make it easy for your clients to spend money with you. Just make it easy.
Absolutely. Because that's all. Our clients are humans like the rest of us. We're either moving them away from pain or towards pleasure. And that's what you're doing. You're taking away the pain of what Christmas gift am I going to buy, and bringing pleasure to them to have it all done for them, knowing that the grandparents are going to love to see that painted portrait of their grandchildren or whoever that might be. Absolutely.
Yep. Make it easy.
Absolutely.
Take away their pain.
Make it easy. Make it easy. Take it away. Take away the pain. That's what we do.
That is
what difference makers do. We take away the pain. All right. Wow, Janine, that was the time flies on these podcasts, but you got an awful lot of great advice in this 30 minutes. So thank you as always for sharing your expertise and your being the inspiration you are to not just our listeners, but to our fully booked photographer members every single day. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome, Ronan.
So have you any last thing you want to say about, because I'm really struggling looking out the window, at the sun and the sea to get into Christmas mode at all. I'm struggling. How do you do it in Tampa, Florida?
I know, it's like this all year round, Ronan. No, I get into I just love the holiday season. So I get into it. It'll be 85 degrees here on Christmas Day. So, it's just always warm. So we get into the holiday spirit in other ways. Like when I start playing the Christmas music and I start smelling peppermint, and especially when Starbucks releases their holiday drinks like November 2nd, that really signifies the kickoff. But no, we do a lot of the all those other things because weather doesn't do it for us, right? The weather doesn't kick off holidays. We don't get any cooler temperatures or anything like that. I can't wear Christmas sweaters unless I'm melting and cranking down the AC. So no, I just, Christmas spirit it's a state of mind. And so for me, knowing that I'm loving on my clients the entire month of November, providing them with happy memories and happy moments with their kids that they're going to remember and be able to open up year after year after year to remember. Remember, I've said this many times, the memories of Christmas past are always better than Christmas present. And so that's what I am doing for my clients is I'm providing them the happy memories of Christmas past for the future. And so that just really jazzes me because I know how important that is for parents, and I know how important it is for kids to have those too. And so that's what it really, getting into the mindset of giving to my clients really helps me to find that energy I need come November 1st to jump into fifth, sixth gear, whatever it is. I'm not a car person either. To jump into high gear. How about that? To jump into high gear and be able to work the 7 days a week, the 20-hour days that we do in order to be able to put on the production that we do to get everything done in time to disperse right after Thanksgiving.
So guys, we know you all have photographer friends. So please, 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 please just share this podcast with any photographer friend who you know will benefit from this. You know, we don't, our strategy is not to bring on, you know, other industry leaders in here and use their networks to promote us. You know, so we rely on you guys to help spread the word. So if you found it useful, please make sure you do. Tell your friends, and of course press that subscribe button so you get notice when next week's podcast goes out. Because every Monday the podcast goes out. So from sunny Spain, from 82 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, 27 degrees Celsius or thereabouts, I'm now going for a sangria, a cold sangria to cool down because I'm not used to this weather. So it's bye from me.
And bye from me in sunny Florida where I am used to this weather. So I'm just going back to work.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.